Hi all, good evening. My name's Debbie. I'm a Live for Love TV subscriber on YouTube. It's a very informative channel, so when you have a spare moment, please like, share and subscribe. Live for Love TV. Thank you.
Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today's the 15th day of the 9th month of the 22nd year inside the 21st century. I hope everyone's doing extremely well out there. Now, today I want to talk about something that's happened recently and how it's going to affect many people. Now, the passing of the Queen of the United Kingdom of England has called for the certain Caribbean countries which have already stated that they wanted to remove her of head of state. And it's not just her, also not just Caribbean, also Australia, and they're saying they want to become a republic, which obviously means the people are in charge rather than some head of state somewhere else. And it's very interesting because some countries have done it already. I think Barbados has done it. I don't know what the state of Barbados. I haven't looked at the politics right now, so I don't know what the state of Barbados politics is. But history is a great teacher. It teaches us a lot about ourselves and things that have gone before. And I bring it up because people will say, oh yes, I hear people all right now, we need to get rid of her. She run her out of town and run the king out, the King Charles III out of town. Well, history teaches us this, that prior to independence in the Caribbean countries that got it from the United Kingdom, there was a clamour to get rid of these people. But people are now admitting after 60 years that these countries are not independent. So if there was a clamour for many, many years to get rid of these people, and now people are admitting that they're not actually, the country still isn't independent because the late Queen was the head of state, and the King Charles is now the head of state for many Caribbean countries and Australia, as I said. Then what happened? What was the clamour for? Because I'm saying if you're going to clamour now to get rid of the King Charles III, then what are they going to do? Because that's what's important. Because this is what always happens. People clamour for something, but they don't think. Just like with Brexit, they don't think of the ramifications. So they don't put into place the things that they want to be there. So independence came, but yet somehow the Queen is still in control. The multinationals that work under that Queen are in control. So what is the point of getting rid of the King Charles III or the monarchy if the institutions are going to be the same? Have we got contingency plans after this? Because they have. Once you make it clear that you no longer want them as your leader or whatever you want to call it, to claim your independence, they would have had years ago contingency plans what they're going to do when you decide to leave them. This is what they've done to every country that tried to get its independence from the United Kingdom. This is you name the country, they've had contingency plans, and they've had their hands in that country from that day until now. So I'm saying that I don't clamour to get rid of the monarchy. I clamour to get our house in order so that when you do get rid of the monarchy, they can't then put themselves in place. They can't then control of things from afar, because I don't see what the point is of getting rid of the monarchy figurehead wise and still having them in control, because they're in control. They're totally in control. Most of the lands in some of these Caribbean countries is crown land. How can that be after 60 years of independence? No political party has thought to get rid of them hook, line and sinker. And even when they do get rid of them, are they going to get rid of this and that and the other things that people have tied you up? Because one thing about you have to accept about these people is they know how to tie up so many things. They get you to sign contracts, sign on a dotted line, this, sign on, and you've got, like what happened in Hong Kong, you've got 100-year lease, and you've got 50 years where you've got to keep paying them back this, and 40 years with this. Who has thought of these things before they clamour that they want to get rid of the monarchy of the United Kingdom? And this is something that's not been done. And I know it's not being done now. I hear people saying, yeah, man, if we get rid of her, man, what's the point of having the Governor General here and this? And I'm saying, well, yeah, get rid of her. But what's the point of getting rid of her? You're not going to get rid of the system that is backing and is controlling those countries. You're not going to get rid of it just like that. You have to unhook yourself from these people long before the system. Remember, I'll give you an example. In 1962, Jamaica got its independence. Years before Jamaica got its independence, people of Jamaica were calling for independence. Ever since India got it and then the African countries got it, Jamaica was right behind them calling for it. They're calling for their independence. But what did the British do? The British started sending out people to go to the Caribbean, such as Enoch Powell and those people, to literally take the lifeblood of those very young people out to come and build their country. And they sort of done it with a way like to say, well, you know, independence is coming. If you don't do it now, maybe you won't get in. And this is what happened after the Windrush and all the other times that was going on. All the other immigration policies were going on. People were running out in droves to try and get out because independence was coming, and they were frightened that they may not. This is what these people do. They've got their contingency plans and they're working on them. Are you working on them? On your own contingency plans? Because this is what's going to happen again. You may very well get rid of a Governor General here and the monarchy there, but all of the systems that they've been doing, all the things they've been tying up the government with right now, and all of the, the rules, the multinationals that they've got you tied up with, and the contracts they've got you tied with. How are you going to get out of those? You're going to be just as tied as you was before. Maybe not in name, because it's a different person as a head of state, but you're going to be just as tired as you were before, because people don't think about these things. These are not the important things. The important thing to some people is just a clamour for independence. Independence means to be inwardly dependent, to be dependent of your internal way of living. That's what independence means. So if you've got an independent country, you've got to find ways, like Mr. Marcus Garvey would have said, you've got to find ways of using the things that you can produce. That's what independence means. Make things that other people want also, so that can keep your country, strong. And not that you have to keep going for handouts and, you don't produce anything, but everybody wants the same thing. You don't make a single car, but in your country, maybe you've got 500,000, 1 million cars, all made externally. That's poverty. That's not independence. That's poverty. That is absolute poverty. If no car is made in your country, and you have cars all over the country, then all that money is exported outside. That's poverty. That's why China, Korea, and all of these eastern countries have produced cars, they produce washing machines, they produce all the manufacturing stuff that they need. They produce them. Because when they go independent, they understand what independence actually means. It's not just clamoring for it, and we don't want this person at the top. We don't want this person to be telling us what to do. Whether you hear them telling you what to do or not, behind closed doors, they're still telling us what to do. And we haven't produced leaders like Mr. Marcus Garvey that can foresee these things and understand how this thing works. A quick aside to that is when Ghana got its independence, Ghana had been so long in the wilderness by the British that all of the people that helped them set up the system they have in Ghana right now were British civil servants. Imagine that. So you've got independence, but you don't know how to run it because you've never run it, and you haven't got people educated at that level. So you have no idea how to run a country. You have to go back to the same British. And what do the British do? They tie you up in all kind of litigations and different stuff that they tie people up in. So therefore they're still in control. This is what happened in Ghana in 1957. And went on for years and years and years, and to this day there is still some remnants of that in Ghana. That's why Ghana hasn't really shifted itself away from probably the Commonwealth, because they're probably frightened, like all the other countries, what we're going to do if we no longer have these type of so-called, in quotes, friends. We have to think about these things, and we have to be deep thinkers about these things, and we have to work together and put your minds together and work on how you're going to do something. It's not just call for something, but how are you going to make a living? How are you going to raise your young people to think different than the way you thought and the way your parents thought and your grandparents and great-grandparents thought? Because if we continue to have our young people thinking the way we thought and our parents thought, more of the same. What they say, same, different day, same, that sort of stuff. pure that's going to happen. It's been happening for forever, and it's going to keep going because we're just not having these conversations. Anyway, talk again soon. See you soon. Live for Love TV.
People, one step more, one step more, one step more, one step more until you reach your goals. One step more. This is Live for Love.